What if I told you that in the next 10 minutes you could build your very first web server, even if you've never written a single line of code? No complicated setup, no installing 10 different programs, no it works on my computer but not yours. So by the end of this video, you'll open your browser, type in a URL, and you'll see your website running from a real web server. This isn't just another Hello World tutorial. This is episode 1 of a brand new series where we'll build the skills you actually need to become a modern web developer, from beginner to building real applications. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome back to Web Dev Dummies. It's been a while, but we're back with a complete new roadmap. Instead of random tutorials, we're starting from absolute zero. If you've always wanted to become a web developer but didn't know where to begin, this series is for you. Every episode builds on the previous one. By the end of this series, you'll understand not just how to write a code, but how professional developers actually build applications. Today's mission is simple. We're going to create our very first web server using Docker and display Hello World in the browser. So, what are we building exactly? Before touching the keyboard, let's understand what we're doing. Imagine opening a restaurant. Customers don't walk into your kitchen, right? Instead, they order food from a waiter. A website works almost the same way. Your browser is the customer, and the server is the kitchen. When you visit the website, your browser asks the server for information. The server prepares a response and sends it back. The response might be a web page, some data, or anything else. Today, we're building that kitchen, a tiny web server that knows how to respond when someone visits it. So why Docker? Now here's the problem. Installing a web server manually can be frustrating. Different operating systems, different versions, different settings. Something always seems to break. That's where Docker comes in. Think Docker like a lunchbox. Instead of installing everything directly on your computer, Docker packages everything your project needs into its own container. You can throw that container away anytime and create a fresh one. Your computer stays clean, everything is isolated, and everyone following this tutorial gets the exact same setup. That's why professional developers love Docker. What is PHP? So today we'll also use PHP. PHP is a programming language that runs on the server. When your browser requests a page, PHP creates that response. So you don't need to actually know PHP yet because today we're only going to create one line of code. But throughout this series, yeah, PHP will be the brain of our application. We'll eventually build APIs, connect to the database, handle users, and much more. So what are the requirements? Before continuing, we have to make sure that you have these following: the Docker desktop installed, Visual Studio Code. So this will be our editor in a modern web browser like Chrome, Edge, Firefox, or Safari. That's it. No XAMPP, no WAMP, no manual Apache installation, just these tools. So now let's create our project. Create a folder called Web Dev Dummies, web-dev-dummies. Open it in Visual Studio Code. So inside that folder, create another folder named public. And inside that public folder, create a file called index.php. Now type this code. I'm also going to paste it in the description so you can download or just copy it. Next is to create a file docker-compose.yml and also paste this code. I'll provide this code in the description. You can download or just copy this code. So let's quickly understand what's happening. We're asking Docker to download an official PHP image. So Apache is already included. We're connecting port 8080 on our computer to port 80 inside the container. Finally, we're telling Docker that our public folder should become the website files inside that server. That's all. Now open the terminal, run docker compose up. The first time might take a minute because Docker downloads the image. Once you see the lags finish loading, you can now open your browser. There's it. Hello world, and congratulations. You just launched your very first web server. So what just happened? Let's quickly recap. Your browser asked for a web page. Docker forwarded that request into the container. Apache received it. Apache found index.php. So PHP executed the code. Instead of sending the PHP code back, it executed it first, then send the result, hello world. That's why visitor never see your PHP code. They only see the output. This is how the server-side programming works. This may look simple, but you've already learned concepts that every professional web developer uses. You've learned what a server is. You learned why Docker exists. You've launched a real PHP server, and you wrote your very first back-end program. So in the next episode, we'll explore the project structure, understand how requests move through the server, and start building something more interactive. If you're serious about becoming a web developer, subscribe and follow this series from episode 1. Don't skip ahead. Each lesson built on the previous one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.